that is what a bad day would have looked like. That is not what you want. I hope you guys learned from my mistake. Definitely don't use polyester resin on foam board. Welcome back. My name's Callie. I'm the Okayest Engineer, and this is video 2 in a series where we're building a custom carbon fiber seat from start to finish down here in my basement. If you haven't checked out the first video, please go back and get caught up. In that one, we designed and manufactured the foam core, what will eventually be the plug for the mold. In this video, we have to strengthen the surface of this foam core so that we can lay up our mold on top of it and not destroy it. So it's got to be strong and it's got to be super smooth. You got to remember that this plug is going to be the exact same as our final carbon fiber part. So any blemishes or flaws that are in this plug will directly be duplicated into our carbon fiber seat. So unfortunately, a lot of effort has to go into this for a one-time use, but extra effort here will definitely pay off in the end. So how are we gonna make it stronger? We're gonna lay up a few layers of carbon fiber mats using polyester resin as its binder. Once the few layers of mat are down and smooth, we'll probably sand it, scuff it up. We're gonna follow that up with Bondo or fairing compound. That'll capture all the low spots and give me something to sand one more time and make smooth. And then finally, to make it super pretty, I got myself some high build primer. So this will lay on really thick and really wet and smooth. The goal here is to hopefully reduce the amount of sanding that's required. I've been going back and forth if I want to put any of that fairing compound into these cracks. What I'm worried about is once it cures, that fairing compound is going to be a lot harder than the foam. And so if I go to try and sand it afterwards, I'm going to end up with this inconsistent lump because the fairing compound will sand slower than the foam. That's especially why I don't want to go put it in these cracks in the actual eventual mold surface, because I think it's going to leave a big blemish. I think I'm going to give it a shot, at least on the outside. We'll see how it goes, and if things go well there, then we'll debate and decide if we want to put it over in the cracks in the mold. Tell me you're a girl dad without telling me you're a girl dad. Well, I think that's going okay. I still don't trust putting it on the face of the mold. It's just not going on as smooth as I would hope, and I really don't want to screw up the seat. I think I can make up for it in other ways and just be a little more careful. So. And there it is with all the fairing compound knocked down flat. Everything went pretty okay, but just as I expected, there was some wonky things happening when I went from the fairing compound to the foam. It's just too much of a delta in hardness, and things just didn't go right. The other unfortunate thing, because this foam is so delicate, my sandpaper came in and grabbed it in a few spots and ripped the foam up. Because it's too close to the mold surface, I don't really want to try and fix it. So similar to just the face of the seat, I know the machined surface is accurate to CAD and I have no blemishes in it. And so I'm super hesitant to do anything to affect that. So I think the plan going forward is going to be just to fill in these voids with extra resin right before I start to lay down the cloth. And I'm hoping that that resin will seep into those cracks, harden, and make everything stiff and happy. And so I'll just take a little bit extra attention to those areas, and hopefully that'll solve the problem. It's time to put that protective shell over our foam plug. And to do that, we're gonna use some 6-ounce fiberglass cloth. And for the binder, I originally was thinking about using polyester resin, but then I started to think about it and figured it might eat into our foam, in which case we would be required to use and epoxy resin. So quick difference between the two. This is about 60 bucks a gallon. This is about $180 a gallon. So anything that's not, I guess, outward facing, you're not trying to make a really nice, pretty part, try to use polyester resin as much as possible. We'll be using this for all the fiberglass, most of the bulk of the layup, and anything except the final carbon fiber parts, except for maybe this one. So while we cut up the mat so it starts to fit into our mold and cut our pleats, that's going to take a little bit of time. And so I'm going to put some polyester resin onto a scrap piece of foam that I have here just to see if it's going to eat it away. And if it does, then we'll be using epoxy for this one. I'll put some polyester resin on this piece of foam real quick, and then we'll start cutting up the fiberglass cloth, and we'll see how far we can get. And that is what a bad day would have looked like. That is not what you want. This is what my entire plug surface would have looked like. What about the amount of work that I would have just lost had I just jumped into using that polyester resin? So I hope you guys learned from my mistake, or almost mistake. That would have been catastrophic. Definitely don't use polyester resin on foam board. We'll use the epoxy resin for anything that touches the foam, and then we'll proceed on with the polyester resin for anything else. All right, I think I have it where I want it. The most difficult part is going to be down here at the hip section of the seat. It's got some complex curves. It's bunching up here and then wants to spread back apart. So I'll just have to play that by ear, see how it goes. It's going to get a lot, I hope, easier to work with once I get some epoxy down, so it'll start to stick to the mold, and that way it can really start to form. This stuff does stretch and move pretty well along the non-bias plies, and so it should conform fairly well to the geometry. I just don't know how well. So we'll start mixing up some epoxy and give it a go. I hope I don't screw this up. We'll be using the TotalBoat epoxy resin. In this case, it's 5-to-1 mix. These pumps already come pre-calibrated, so it's one pump each, the resin and the hardener. I chose the slow hardener because I prefer the working time. I'm not on a schedule. I can let it sit for a few days. It's not that big of a deal. And I'll probably even take this mold and let it sit out in the sun in the driveway for a few hours tomorrow, just to let it bake out and make sure it's really cure. I'll probably be mixing multiple small batches. The epoxy will cure much faster when it's sitting in a bucket full of other epoxy. So it's much better to mix small batches, use it, mix some more, and so on. I filled in that crack in the foam here right before I laid down the first layer of cloth. You know when you've used enough epoxy when the cloth basically turns transparent. Hindsight though, it would have worked a little bit better had I coated the surface of the plug or the foam before I laid in the glass. It would have just held things a little bit better, and I think I would have gotten a little bit more penetration into the foam. That's why you can see me here coating the bottom of it first before I lay over the glass. I'm paying close attention to make sure there's no folds or creases or air bubbles between the glass and the foam. That way I can make sure the part is as strong as possible and conforms to the surface as best as I can. And there she is with it all dry. It turned out pretty all right. I'm just gonna sand this up and give it a nice scuff finish so it'll hold the fairing compound. We'll trim up the excess around the edges and try to make this thing as smooth as possible. There are only a couple little flaws. You can see an air bubble in here. We'll fix that up with some sanding. Outside of that, there were a couple runs, but I mean, nothing a little Bondo can't fix. And this thing should be pretty in no time. Well, after a whole lot of sanding, but we'll get there. And this is where the endless amount of sanding begins. We're going to stuff this whole surface up with some 120 grit sandpaper. That way the fairing compound will adhere to the fiberglass and the epoxy. And then we'll put a skim coat on and just keep on sanding. With the first pass of 120 grit sandpaper, I focused primarily on just knocking down any high spots. That was caused by either wrinkles in the fiberglass cloth or some excess resin or some runs that you see here. Basically, you just want to knock all the high spots down, because then we'll follow up with a really thin layer of fairing compound. That'll take care of all the lows, and then it should get us really close to where we want to be. Once again, the goal here is to put as little fairing compound down as you can. Any excess you put down here just means you have to sand it away. Alright, I've let that fairing compound set overnight, and in the meantime I took a chance to upgrade my sanding capabilities. I picked up some better 3M120 grit sandpaper and then this sanding sponge. The sanding sponge has some grit on it, but I don't plan to use it. I'm just going to wrap my own paper around it. This will give me kind of just a better, smoother way to sand this organic shape than by hand or with something more rigid. All right, a couple hours later, and we're finally done with the first coat of fairing compound. You can see how little I left behind. I sanded all the way back down to that fiberglass cloth, and it really exposed just the low spots, which is what you see left with that green fairing compound. Really happy with the seat surface. I do need to go back and fix a couple spots. There was a hole that broke through from a bubble that was in here before, and then I need to put a little bit more on the outer edge that was really rough anyways, just to smoothen that out and make sure that when I finally make the mold, that this outer flange is smooth enough for my vacuum bag tape to make a good seal. So we'll put one more thin layer on, fix the small spots that I noticed, and then one last sand, and we should be good to go for primer. And here she is, all sanded down, cleaned up, and ready to go. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. The high spots are sanded down, low spots are filled in. I did manage to come back and fix that hole that happened over here. The side flanges are smooth enough. The high build primer calls for an 80 grit kind of rough surface, and I botched that and went with 120, so I hope that's going to be okay. But we'll see. And welcome to the next episode of I Don't Know What the Heck I'm Doing. We're about to put down a couple layers of high build primer onto the plug to get it pretty. I'm going to use a spray gun to do that. In this case, I picked up a $15 paint gun from Harbor Freight. Looked up a few YouTube videos on how to set it up. Wish me luck. I don't know if it's right, but we're going to find out pretty quick. We're going to use this 3-to-1 Total Boat primer. Like I said, it's high build, so it should lay on thick and leave a really nice kind of wet surface. From what I've seen, these guns come pretty dirty, so we're going to clean it out first with some lacquer thinner. Clean it out again, make sure it's super good. We'll go ahead and mix this stuff up and start laying down a couple coats. I think 2 should do just fine, but because I've never done this before, I actually have no idea, so join me. This high build primer went down, I think, pretty good. It built up fairly well. It left a little bit of an orange peel, which I should be able to take away with some sandpaper fairly easily, and overall had some really nice coverage. I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. And that's gonna do it for this one. My basement is a hot mess. I am over sanding. We went from 120 to 220 to 400, then 800, 1,000, and then finally 2,000. We got a really nice smooth surface all the way through the whole thing. I made took a little more close attention to the actual seat surface than I did the flanges, which I hope and should be okay. I was gonna try and photograph the steps as things got smoother, but the white surface just is not good for taking any type of detailed photo. Hindsight, I probably should have used a different color primer, and foreshadowing, I probably should have bought a different color gel coat, but we'll go into the lessons learned after we finish this whole part. Next time we will prep the surface with some mold release. We'll throw down that gel coat, put a whole bunch of layers of fiberglass on top to make that mold really strong, and then pop that sucker out. As always, go build something cool, never stop learning, and we'll see you on the next one.